Greetings, Earthlings. It's Runway DFW After Dark. And we're here with you early this evening because we wanted to bring you this here big bird. I think you recognize this. This is the British Airways A380 Speedbird, and it is going back to London. So many things to show you right now. Let me see, we got a 747 over there. And I don't have this exposed correctly, but we do have the supermoon, which is getting ready to set. So lots of things to see here tonight. Yeah, but we're going to start with the A380. Maybe we can get back to the moon before it sets. Welcome in. We're coming to you about 40 minutes ahead of schedule. It is a windy, blustery evening here at the big airport.
5.18 left, American 2448.
And we're glad you found us. This is a 10-year-old A380. Came in the 5 o'clock hour here this afternoon. In fact, as I was driving down here, I saw it in the sky. It's kind of hard to miss.
Arnett B Park, clear to take off 18 left, American 2448.
So currently, flight 2448, American Airlines 737-800 off to Reno, Nevada is lined up to take off. So even if you have a very big footprint, you don't necessarily get to go first. Pretty dark out there tonight.
Whiskey Lima, American 925.
So if we can dial up the gain a little bit there for you.
Departure Marine 1123, good day.
Arnav B Park 18 left, clear for takeoff, envoy 3783.
Airplanes, trains, and cows. Airplanes, trains, and cows says, Walt, are you streaming with a personal hotspot or WiGo? Well, actually I have I'm using T-Mobile home internet. I'm not at home, but it doesn't seem to matter here because this is where I'll use it. This is kind of my home away from home, so that's what I'm using to stream with, and generally speaking gives us a pretty good signal. And I do have a phone as a backup, which is how I started all this nonsense, and I do also have a like a portable hotspot that I can also utilize should that become necessary, but I do like this home internet device.
You got a heading for Americans 777 on the go.
Let's see, Christian Uday, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, says good evening, Walt. O'Malley, channel member here at Runway DFW, says hello everyone. Hope all are well and happy. Thanks for streaming. You are welcome, O'Malley. Good to always see you here. Robert Brune says hello, Walt and chat. Emilio Cobos says, good evening, everyone. Kevin Lawler says, hello. Channel member Trish B says, good evening, Walt. Devin Barnes checking in. Good morning, Walt. Hope you're well. Saying hello from Melbourne, Australia on a Saturday morning in that part of the world. Michael Wilson says hello from New York. Hello to you.
3597 American.
Phil G, channel member, says, Walt, so good to see you, ... especially at an hour where I'm actually awake on the West Coast. Well, you know, it really, we try to do broadcasts at different hours because we know it's a global, well, it's a U.S.-wide and a global audience. And so we know we've got at least one viewer down under in Australia. Now, I think this UPS 747, I think it is scheduled to go out tonight. It is, looks like it's being loaded up, so fingers crossed for that. Michael Wilson says, hello from New York. We say, boy, that camera's dark. I think that's as much as the gain goes, but it's a little dark where we are. We'll give you the over-the-shoulder shot. That's kind of the panoramic view of where we are here. So we've got 4 cameras going.
At the B Park, go take up 111. That was 3190. Line up and wait, runway 18 left. That was 3000. Clear land 18 right, American 1798.
So we're still waiting on this gigantic behemoth of an aircraft to take off. Barbara P. Sterling says, can you raise the volume on you, Walt? Well, mine is pretty much cranked all the way up. Maybe I'll turn down some of the background noise, if that helps. Let me check my output levels. That looks like they're at a max. I don't want to go over, so hopefully that's a little better. We did Devin. We showed Devin's comment, so let's see here. Jay Huerta says, good evening, Walt from Monterey. Pleasure to see you. Mads C, who was just here, says, hi, it was a great pleasure meeting you tonight. Keep inspiring. Thank you, Mads C. She says she's a big fan of traveling by air. Or no, she's a big fan of aircraft, but not so much of flying around in an airplane.
Take off 18 left on B Park, Skywest 3000.
I saw Iberia flight 6149 just coming in over there on the east side, an Airbus A330-300.
Hold short of 18 left, American 2436.
LA Girl says hello to O'Malley. MJ Scanlon Photography says, good evening, Walt and gang from Mississippi. Hello to you. Andrew Templeton says, evening, Walt, stopping by Founders Plaza after some training I'm doing this coming Wednesday. So that will be fun. Perhaps I will be here. Our friend and channel member and equestrian champion Raina Taylor says, good evening, Walt, and fellow plane enthusiasts. Barbara P. Sterling says, delighted to find your evening show, Walt. Enjoy from South Carolina. Thank you, Barbara. Dan Norton, good evening, Walt. Flooded Long Island, New York. Ugh. Looking forward to flying into DFW on Monday and be out of this rainy mess. Well, if you want to come to some place that's not rainy, this is the right place. Kevin Kelly says, Walt, you've got a China Air Cargo coming in at 9:33, and I believe that will be a 747.
18 left, land for wait, American 1563.
So I guess we'll look at some planes coming and going while we're waiting for
Short of 18 left, American 1798.
Waiting for the big bird to take off. Let's see, does it have any competition here? There's still 2 other planes lined up to take off over there on 18 left. We're here on the west side of DFW Airport. It is windy tonight, so that will have some impact on our sound at times, so I apologize for that. Let's see what we got coming in here. Well, give myself some practice on following planes in. Here's an Embraer 175 arriving from Abilene, Texas. It's an American Eagle flight.
American 2440, good night. RNAV B Park, clear for takeoff, American 1563.
It is a Friday night
American 2769.
here at the big airport.
Right, third line, American 2769. Western Kilo, short of 18, left on boy, 4182.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the Speedbird is waiting for some instructions. You know, these planes, before they take off, they have to get all of the statistical information.
Zulu across 1 level, short 1 right, number main 003.
They need to get all their statistical information like fuel load and passenger load and baggage distribution and all that stuff fed into their computers, and that doesn't come from the ATC, air traffic controllers. That comes from the airline itself. So sometimes there are some processing delays in getting that to the aircraft, and they can't take off before all of that data is programmed into the onboard computer so that they know
Good night, American 1563.
fuel loads and all that stuff. It looks like flight 2597 there in the background. That's an American Airlines flight 737. It's going to Burbank, California. So there is the 737 versus A380 size differential for you.
Zulu across 1 right, to the ramp, on 4 main and 003.
RNAV B Park 18 left, clear for takeoff, American 2597.
Zulu 90 Whiskey Super, taxi patients ready for departure.
I do believe I heard the A380 captain there.
Start from weight 18 left, Zulu 90 Whiskey Super.
Sure, 18 left, go fade on with 777, turn 518. Clear to land 18 right, roger, thank you, American.
There's that Iberia plane that came in earlier. You saw it there. So off to beautiful downtown Burbank goes that aircraft. There's another look at our 747, and the A380 is on the move.
Yeah, good evening, it's Blue Streak 6037 with visual 18 right. Good line, 18 right, Blue Streak 637.
RNAV B Park, cleared takeoff 18 left, Seabird 90 Whiskey Super.
We're parking the west side in the B gate. Hey, Golf 8, cross 28 left and over to ground, American 2769.
2597 on departure. Departure 2797.
Okay, thank you, Sue. Not too risky.
And so the super jumboest of jumbo jets is off to London. And so at 8:06, let's start the show, shall we? We really hadn't started the show.
With a camera.
Yes, you're listening to the smooth jazz sounds of Runway DFW After Dark. We'll be with you till at least 11, maybe midnight or so Central Time, depending on the flow of airborne traffic. We welcome you to our Friday night presentation. We're so happy to have you with us from wherever you may be around the globe. So stick around with us. And, if you'd like to join in the chat room, which is always lively and fun, I hope you will consider becoming a subscriber. It's free, and that gives you entree to the chat room. So thanks for joining us at Runway DFW After Dark.
RFB Parkway, left clear for takeoff, American 2709.
It's Friday, September 28th, 2023, and we're about to see a couple of things. First of all, American Flight 2709 to Palm Springs is going out. It's an Airbus A321, and that is it right there. And I should a lot of buttons to push. You may have seen it as we were panning to the right. You saw a Qantas aircraft. It's going out to Melbourne. And we'll be seeing that in a minute. Way in the distance there, you can see that Iberia A330, which came in on the east side about, 10 minutes ago. It's got a long taxi over here to the west side to Terminal D. And there you see on the right side of your screen, approaching the mark is a 7879 Dreamliner, Qantas flight number 22. It's going to Melbourne.
Hold short of wine left.
And I believe last time I checked, this is technically the longest journey you can make from DFW Airport currently. The second longest is its sibling, which we'll see going out later, the Qantas flight to Sydney. I believe the Melbourne flight is not daily. I think it's 3 or 4 times a week. The Sydney flight, I do believe, is a daily affair.
Departure American 1432.
Qantas, once upon a time, served DFW with its A380s, but that ended at the start of the pandemic, and when they came back last year, Qantas did, it was with Dreamliner service. Did I put the wrong date up there?
Right heading 190, 190 left.
Ooh, I did.
27.
Okay, well, listen, sorry. But thank you for that correction. So it's Friday the 29th. It's always good to have viewers who are smarter than I am. I tell you what, I'm operating without a watch today. That's not an excuse, really, but I am one of those people who wears a wristwatch, and I don't have a... It's kind of a very basic smartwatch. But it started acting weird today. And so I no longer have it on my... So I keep looking at my wrist, and there's nothing there except the tan line where my watch usually is. Carolyn Crowder says, "Good evening, Walt. I really like when you do a night spotting. I like it too. I like it because it's cooler. We don't have the sun beating down on us. We get kind of a unique look at the aircraft. And is this getting loaded in on 2 different sides? I can't tell. Yeah, it is. There you see on the right side, there's a kind of like a conveyor belt affair. And then on the left, there's a scissor lift, filling up that giant space in that Queen of the Skies. So yes, we're right across, immediately adjacent to the UPS cargo facility here at DFW Airport.
I'm one of your subscribers. I'm Shiv. Nice to meet you.
Hello.
I've commented on a few of your chats
Well,
before and all
it's a
that.
pleasure
Yeah.
to meet you.
I love
well,
your
thank
videos.
you.
I love your videos.
Thank you.
Some of the best.
Thank you. Here's your $10.
Yeah, no, I've watched you since you've had like 100 subscribers.
Wow. Wow. Well, I've done a little better since that time, but thank you so much.
I love the LAX video.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, it was fun going out there. I hope to get out there again sometime. What do we got coming in here? Hold on. Oh, that's an American. It's an American. It looks like a 787-8 going back to the hangar, I do believe. Crossed over from the terminal area. Mark Krell, a channel member now for 5 months. Hey, Walt, nice night for some DFW planes. Thank you so much, Mark. Certainly do appreciate your membership here with us.
Yeah, we got Runway DFW.
Let's see, do we have anything going out? we have anything coming in? We've got a flight from Burbank coming in, flight 1208 American Airlines. It'll be a 737-8. There's our acknowledgement, our automated acknowledgement of Mark's anniversary with us. Thank you. Mary says, is it me or is Walt buffering? Well, I'm seeing plenty of internet power here tonight, so I think maybe it's you. Josh Aldrich says, good evening, Walt. Hello, Josh. And he says, good evening, everyone. Are you back from your trip, Josh? You were going on a trip, weren't you? The last I saw you out at Cranky Dorkfest. See, so let us point our primary camera to the northwestern or northeastern skies to see the arrival of Flight 1208 from Burbank, California. So probably, can we see it all the way down there? Yeah, I think we can indeed. We have a little slightly different position tonight because our regular position, well, it's so crowded here at Founders Plaza tonight that my regular preferred position was not available because there were cars parked in front of it, and I need to park my car adjacent to where I am so that I can securely unload all of my equipment. So I just had to kind of park myself and wait for the first space to open up. And so we're all the way at the western end of Founders Plaza tonight, which is fine. We still got a good view. Just a little different.
Nav to B Park, 18 left, clear for departure. 1800.
Not the most unobstructed of views, but yes, it's all right.
Bridge 1482, you have a good night.
Gusty evening here. That's a very dim picture from our front camera. Josh Aldrich is celebrating 5 months of membership. I'm headed to London Heathrow from DFW on October 14th. I'm spending a week in the UK. Great stream as always. Thank you so much, Josh. Well, I wish you a great trip. That sounds like fun. I'm jonesing to go back to the UK myself. I'll tell you what we're looking at here in a minute as soon as it rises into the sky. Sarah, the real deal, flying in on the 5th, October 5th. Sarah's celebrating 1 month of membership, so thank you so much, Sarah. I hope I can arrange to be out here at the airport during the time that you can pay a visit. That would be great. let's look over here. There is the... We're looking to the east here. That's the east tower there in the center of the screen. To the right of the on your screen, kind of that yellowish outlined building. That's the Bank of America Tower, the biggest skyscraper in downtown Dallas. We haven't looked over here yet, have we? Let's see. That is one of two, at least as far as I can see, UPS MD-11s, which is now being serviced. It's got its cargo door there open on the left. I don't see any activity right now. Maybe they're airing it out. And then parked right in front of us is the other MD-11 that's also got a cargo door open. Who knows if we're going to be seeing one of these go out tonight. Don't worry about it. It always falls down in the wind. Thank you. My sign, I have a sign here that tells people what I'm doing, but in the wind here it keeps falling down. I guess I need to sandbag it or something. Preston Charles wants to know, what time did you get to the airport? I got here before 7 p.m. I think I had to wait a little bit till I found a space where I could unload, and I think we were on the air a little bit before 8. Remember, Yurtis checks in with a $5 super chat. Hey, Walt, DFW Airport turns 50 in January from what I read, and was wondering if you'll try to be there on January 13th, 2024. Yes, I have made an inquiry to the powers that be here at the airport. I never received a response, so I'm going to have to write back to them. Is it what?
Well, yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. That's good. Thank you. So I don't know. I will be here on that day. I'm hoping that I can get some access to the to whatever festivities they've got going on. I'm gonna try to bring you a little moonshot here. There it is, the harvest moon. Is it in focus? I think it is, pretty much. That's as close as we can get without digitally zooming in. Did somebody say digitally zooming in? So there you go. Even with a very sturdy tripod, the wind tonight makes that shot a little bit shaky. And unfortunately, the moon has risen too high in the sky now for us to be able to get any shots of planes crossing its path. So there you go, little moonscape for you this evening.
American 1434.
This is American Airlines flight. What is that?
West Delta.
Well, there's two planes over there. Sometimes it's hard to pick them out. Well, it says there's two planes. I only see one.
B Park, 1 left, clear for takeoff. American 1434.
Well, it's American 1434, and this
Live away, 1 left, American 303 even.
the 737-800 going to Vancouver. That camera's just too dark. That camera's pointed up too far at the ceiling.
Clear for takeoff 20 left, RNAV B Park, American 303.
Oops. And that tripod's a little stiff.
Good night, American 1430.
So bear with us. That's American Flight 303. It's an Airbus A320, but I don't have information about where it is going. We are being buffeted this evening. Carla Longerbeam says, good evening. Good Friday evening, Walt. Fantastic mods and everyone. OZ sent us here, even though I am subscribed here. Well, that's so nice of him. Yes, OZ Gaming 9 was broadcasting earlier. I guess he's finished up for the night. I didn't have a chance to go say hello to him. But he started, I don't know, like at 5:30 or something like that. Much earlier than I can get here, given my job. I think we're still zoomed in here. That's why. Okay, I know why this is happening. The picture looked a little bit too grainy for me. And that is because I still have this camera zoomed in too much. Let's fix that. There we go. Now we do have, for your plane spotting pleasure, Turkish Airlines Flight 192. It is on its way back to Istanbul. It is a Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner. DFW Spotter says hello. Hello to you, DFW Spotter. Redondo Beach says, I'm at Dockweiler State Beach watching planes take off from LAX and watching this DFW live stream at the same time and simultaneously. Wow.
Clear to land, 18 right, United 1235.
You know, I was, as many of you know, I was out at LAX earlier this month for the Cranky Dork Fest weekend. And, you know, one of the things I would have liked to have done would be to go out to the beach and see what the, you know, just kind of dip my toe in the Pacific Ocean, but didn't get quite that far. I didn't really get any further than LAX Airport the whole time I was there, but it was a nice time, and maybe next time I'll try to be out there a little longer. So I do have to tell you, this plane sometimes is directed over to the east side, and it looks like it's making that kind of turn right now. So we shan't be seeing it lifting off into the skies from runway 18 left this evening, unfortunately. Sarah Deal, who's headed this way, says, I think I'm going to be on the Airbus A220, which would be cool. I just want to get to DFW, she says. And Larry Hawkins says, Walt, were you at Dorkfest all day that Sunday? I know you're at the H Hotel when AVL had the stream going that night. Well, on the Sunday, which was the final day I was there, I had attempted to do a stream from Clutter's Park, which is where Kevin and Rudy normally do their Sunday broadcasting. But when I got there in the morning, it started to rain, and I didn't really have any protection, so I had to call a car real quick and get on out of there. And then later on in the day, I made a cameo appearance to just say hello to Kevin and Rudy and thank them for their hospitality. Here comes United Flight 1235 coming in from Denver. It's a baby bus. And our jingle singers salute this aircraft. 1999. A 20th century plane, if there ever was one. Graphic Sign and Design is celebrating 2 months of membership. And we certainly do thank Graphic Sign and Design for that. And they say, where did the message go? Walt, it has been a good 2 months, many more to come. I really thank you for your patronage of this channel, and my apologies to everybody who was a member for my 2 weeks of inactivity earlier this month due to illness. But we're back here, and I'm glad to be back with all of you on this Friday night, the 29th of September. I had it wrong on our graphic. We have here Volaris Flight 391 going to Mexico City. It's an Airbus A321. It looks like it has a name on the front of the fuselage. I can't tell. I can't get any closer than this. Maybe as it turns, we'll be able to get a better view. As this goes out to Mexico City, we've got a American Eagle Emperor 175 coming in from Monterrey, flight 3625. So some south of the border action for you on this Friday edition of Runway DFW. I didn't see a name on the front of that plane. Some of the Volaris planes have a is it Volaris? Yeah, I think so. Have a name on the front. We thank Santiago Alexis for being our newest subscriber. Thank you, Santiago. So it should work out that as this plane reaches the end of the runway, we'll be seeing that incoming flight from Monterey. We'll see if that works out.
Left with kilo cross on the left, ground point 5.
That is a Martinair cargo plane, a Cessna Cargo Master, which feeds into the UPS system. Cessna 208B Grand Caravan. Relatively new for one of those planes, 21 years old.
And Tower, Envoy 3625. We weren't able to make with kilos. Can we take it or go 3?
Channel member and a member of the Runway DFW Moderation Federation, Bev A. Hello, Bev A. Yay, I hope everyone has considered clicking the like button for this wonderful stream.
Line up and wait. 18 left for United 2005.
Lori M. channel member says, great to see you all again. I keep missing Walt's live streams and have a hard time getting out there to join him lately. Well, anytime you can get out here, Lori, be happy to see you again. But thank you for checking in and glad you could find your way here tonight. Let's see.
B Park, clear for takeoff for United 2005, and that's clear for takeoff on 18 left, United 2005.
Well, you heard it here first. United Flight 2005 is on its way to Denver, no, on its way to the city adjacent to the bay, San Francisco, an Airbus A319. There it is, you see, dating back to the year 2000. So officially a 21st century plane. Channel member Reinhardt Neer, or Nair, says hello and good morning. So I'm suspicioning you're in another part of the world, Reinhardt. My guess would be European, yes? I see Chuck Tolsma in there. I see Chuck doing some interacting. Hello, Chuck. Craig Russell says Austin Airport is adding a new route from Austin to Monterey on Viva Aerobus starting March 22nd, 2004. You know what I'm really jealous about? I saw earlier this week, I think it was this week, that San Antonio Airport in Texas is to be getting a flight from Condor. You know, the planes with those beach towel stripes? Yeah, Condor. It's going to San Antonio, and it apparently, from what I read, is going to be Condor's. It's going to be San Antonio's second international destination. I mean, they have a number of flights to Mexico from San Antonio, but the flight from, I'm not sure which German city it's going to be from, but that will be its first transcontinental flight. I don't know if ever, but at least currently. That's going to happen next year sometime. May have to make a road trip to see that. I did get a glimpse of the Condor beach towel planes when I was in LAX. That's a fun plane to see. You know, whatever you may think of the livery on it, and if you've never seen it, it's got, you know, think of somebody wrapped a beach towel around a plane. That's it. It's kind of, they've got a blue, and do they have yellow? I know they have green stripes, green and white stripes, and blue and white stripes. It's quite something to see.
Gaining tower, Mark Texas Freight, visual 13. Runway 13, clear land, Mark Texas Freight.
Yeah, we're looking at the work that's going on over there at the UPS. I wanted to point out, we'll look at our other camera. Do you see on the back there, it looks like a long kind of tripod extended. That's a tail stand, I think is the name for that. And on some aircraft, they put that up on the tail to make sure that it doesn't, it stays on an even keel while they're loading and unloading things from the aircraft. So, you know, if they put something in the back of the plane, it doesn't tilt backwards. It's just kind of a safety thing. I don't know that it's absolutely necessary, but I think it just gives it a little more stability as they're loading and unloading. Channel member Robert Smith says, I call the Condors various flavors of candy canes. Yeah, that is kind of what they look like. Carolina Aviation says, we are getting Air France here in Raleigh on the 30th of October. Can't wait. And I think I've seen that Steve Lundaby has gifted some Runway DFW memberships. James Tokini says, good evening, everyone. James, a channel member. Hi, Walt. Are you ready for the cooler temps next week? I am indeed. Steve, switching over to Steve Lundaby, has given 10 Tri-Jet memberships. That's very nice of you, Steve, and I really appreciate that.
3374, ready to go, hold turn 1.
And we're going to be seeing a parade of new users here, or new members, I should say. That is really nice. Randy Bucksbaum, channel member, says, I booked on JetBlue on a red eye. Has anyone flown in Airbus A320 JetBlue? And did you book regular seats or the bigger seats and more legroom? Well, And a question for the group. I've never been on JetBlue. So that will be for others to weigh in on. Coming in from afar there, it's American Flight 681 arriving from Cancun. It's an Airbus A321. Beve's kind of on my side, says the Condor livery is brilliant, I think. It certainly is different. That is without question. Hello. Oh, hi, you guys. We have the OZ crew here tonight. Wait, let me put you guys on. There they are. Turn around and wave. How did your broadcast go tonight?
It was all right.
Yeah?
The air quality is not great, so the clarity was a bit tough.
Oh, when you got here, it was kind of hazy and whatnot. Yeah, it was like that.
Also, temperatures haven't dropped yet, so the heat haze.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that on Wednesday when I was here in the morning. It was great to start with, and then as soon as the sun came up, oof.
But it will get better because
Yeah, well, in the fall. Yeah.
And then the week after that, it'll be in the 30s.
What, the 30s?
30s.
Yeah, you know Texas. You have like 1 week of like 70s, and then you drop down to
Well, I thought you were switching over to Celsius there on us. Well, I'm glad you had a good broadcast.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you're back out here. We heard you were ill.
I was for a couple of weeks. I was out, and I was, I just wanted to get back out here again, but I knew that wasn't the best thing to do. You had a taste of that for a while too, not being ill, but being incapacitated for a bit.
Yeah, it was not fun.
That was not fun. Well, so good to see you guys. Thank you for stopping by.
Good to see you.
Yeah,
Okay.
good to see you. Well, I hope you have a great broadcast.
Thank you. Pray for no sprinklers.
Yes.
Friday's usually good for sprinklers, I said. Fingers crossed. Well, there you have it. That was OZ Gaming 9 and OZ Dad. He has a channel here at Runway at DFW Airport, and so I hope you'll check that out. We're all friends here. Yeah.
Where are you streaming this at?
On YouTube. On Runway DFW channel. There's the sign, it fell down. You're welcome. All right, what are you looking at there? That is American Flight 1757 coming in from McAllen, Texas. Left McAllen an hour and 10 minutes ago. And now it's coming in here. I believe it went out of our frame, didn't it?
18 left on the boy left, and 866. Forward, no way.
Channel member Frida Bed had asked about the flags at half-mast. I believe that is in tribute to Senator Dianne Feinstein, who died earlier today. We had another gifted membership, and the gifter was Jay Painspotter. So thank you, Jay. Check out his channel. He features great footage, primarily, if not exclusively, but primarily from Payne Field, where Boeing commissions its new jets. Here is the American Airlines Medal of Honor livery. It's hard to see, but it depicts the Medal of Honor for the various military branches. This is going to be flight 826. It's going to Las Vegas. It's an Airbus A321.
1 left, miles away, American 2697.
I don't know. We're looking at emergency vehicles, and they'll pop out every now and again. And
yeah, my dad was actually on the 380 flight. So
oh, really? Oh, so cool. Does he have a connection on board? Because he's been able to.
No, he's visiting some family in London, and then he's going to Delhi to visit my grandparents. Then he's coming back.
Wow, it's quite a journey.
Yeah.
Has he been on the 380 before?
Oh yeah, multiple times. He's been on Qatar's also. He's been on Qatar's, Emirates. He's been on a lot of them. Singapore, I think, too, out of Sydney.
Wow. He gets around.
Yeah, me, I haven't been on any A380s, of course. Because
I never have either.
Maybe someday,
That's a wish for well, they should be around for a little while, at least. All right, well, we've... let's see, did Allegiant Maniac have a message here? Anyway, we did again want to thank Jay for the gifted membership. Kevin Kelly is the recipient. Mark Perry says, thanks, Steve, for the gift. Hey, Walt, you were down for a short while. I went to the hospital last Saturday and came home Tuesday feeling like crap, LOL. Well, I hope you're feeling better now. Hospital visits are nothing to sneeze at. Got a bunch of planes lining up to take off. There's an American Eagle CRJ.
Mason's Worko, FaceTime audio.
What you heard there was my grandson trying to make a call here. Mason, can you hear me? Well, I'll have to get back to him. I had put the do not disturb on my phone, but calls from grandsons aren't affected by that. Here is Delta flight number 402. It's going to Minneapolis, St. Paul on this Airbus A220.
Over departure, Blue Chick 5574.
We had a very nice super chat there from Emre Yurtas. I'll get to that in a moment. You saw it there. I couldn't pause to read it. Let me see if I can get to that here. Emre says, wants us to know that, well, thank you for the $5 super chat, Emre. I have flown on Lufthansa's A380 when it flew to Houston pre-pandemic. Randy Bucksbaum says, Runway DFW, Walt, the last day you were in LA on the hill with Kevin, you didn't look well. I'm glad you're feeling well again. Yeah, I didn't feel very well at all. I was masked up, and again, I just want to. I was hanging out there. I hope to get back to see those guys again. Larry Hawkins says, when grandkids call, all bets are off. Look at the tail end of this American Airlines jet landing there. That was flight 1269 coming in from Kansas City. Kansas City.
One and left, line up west, West 2004.
Checking in on our 747 here. It's still getting loaded up here. Airplanes, Trains, and Cows says I'm heading to Imperial Hill in 2 weeks. Hope it's worth the plane ride. It is. It's really a great spot to watch.
Right now, I actually like what you do.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Usually about 3 times a week. Try to be out here on Fridays, Friday nights, and it's worked out that I'm usually here Sunday mornings and then another morning during the week, but it depends on the weather. Thank you so much. What's your name?
Daniel.
Daniel, pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Well, we're making friends here at Runway DFW. There is a yellow bird, a Spirit flight 1406 coming in from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, an Airbus A321. We are going to be looking at that coming out of the northern sky.
ready for American 681.
That's it there, about to be photobombed by a flag.
On up, Lawrence, clear for takeoff 18 left, American 2313.
Left, line up and wait, envoy 3596.
Run to the park, discuss 3004.
You know, I found on a recent broadcast, I clipped it out, but I haven't had time to post it yet. But it's fun to watch. Randy Bucksbaum says the air traffic has slowed down at LAX this week. Moving forward, travel season, especially to Europe, slows down till spring, so the airlines move planes to seasonal routes. John M. says the inside of that UPS 747 is well lit. I wonder if they turn off the lights while in flight. Well, that's a good question.
Full short 1 left with Lima, clear with 14.
I would think that if you were working inside the cargo hold, you would want it to be well lit to make sure that you can see where things are going and what's going on. Channel member Brian Henry says Runway DFW Dynasty 5258 is 25 minutes out if you haven't already checked. And I have to be honest with you, I don't know what that is.
We'll continue to maintain visual and over to departure for envoy 3596. Have a good night.
Clear for takeoff 18 left on after the park, American 1777.
Seaside. Echo Alpha, hold short 18 left, rank 45.
Got a Delta Airbus A220 about to make the scene here. This one's coming in from Salt Lake City. And going out there, ironically enough, was American Flight 1777, an Airbus A321 going to Salt Lake City. So,
18 left, clear for takeoff, RNAV, Park, American 26 on Echo Whiskey.
Josh Alder says Dynasty is China. Oh, China Airlines. Okay. All right, now I know the score. We'll be on the lookout for that. Channel member Veronica Peters says, hello, Walt. Enjoying another great show as always. Thank you, Veronica.
Delta 1685 will come.
An Alaska Airlines flight coming over the bridge.
Alpha route American 2522.
Look at all these planes.
520 left Whiskey Lima Alpha route ground point 65 on the bridge, Delta 16.
The immediate plane to take off is going to be American Flight 1217 to Denver. You see there with its nose pointed to the right. It's an Airbus A321. Meanwhile, here comes a flight from San Diego.
We're ready back to 1406. Alright, we'll hustle back 1406. RWD parts, clear for takeoff, 28 left American 1217. 28 left on board back to 1406. Livery when it left after your bus 20 American Plaza. Departure good evening, American 1217.
Just wanted to remind you that you're watching Runway DFW After Dark. My name is Walt. We'll be here with you till at least another hour. 9, 10, no, we'll be here with you till the 11 o'clock hour, I think, as long as our batteries hold out and everything. We are here bringing you nighttime action from one of the world's busiest airports on this Friday, September 29th. So welcome on in. We're happy to have you with us as we broadcast from DFW Founders Plaza, which is where I'm standing right here. Thanks to all of you for joining us tonight for our After Dark presentation. Now, did I miss some things here? Let's see. Oh, I did. Look at this. We've got a $5 super chat from BK. Stream seems like from a futuristic planet drenched in lights, flying intergalactic huge spaceships, jetting through multicolored stars of space-time. Thanks. That is the most poetic super chat we've ever received. Thank you very much, BK. And Ross Jin with a $9.99 super chat, my monthly channel donation until I figure out how to become a member with Apple products. Good to see you, Walt and gang. Thank you so much, Ross. Much appreciated. Nova Rain is popping in to say, hey yo, I'll be lurking until I fall asleep. Now, lurking is not a problem. We welcome lurkers and active participants, whatever works for you.
Sorry about that, American 39, RNF B Park, clear for takeoff, 18 left.
All right, just working a few things out here.
RNF B Park, 18 left, clear takeoff for American 114. Boy, 18 left, Alaska, 3.
There's a lot of activity going on around this 747.
American 39.
As we welcome Chowchilla Chuck to the ranks of subscribers. Thank you, Chowchilla Chuck. Say that 5 times fast. Like, I can't tell if that's smoke or where's that coming from? Can't tell. Well, we are expecting a China Airlines cargo 747 coming in here at some point in time. Let me see if I can figure out when that's going to be here. This is coming in from Anchorage. It's 23 minutes away currently, just past Wichita Falls, Texas.
Probably the company crossing 18 right.
747-400 freighter.
18 left, envoy 3731.
18 years of age. And so that's something to look forward to.
RNF B Park, clear for takeoff, 18 left, Alaska, 321. Departure American 114.
Terry M says, Walt, thanks for the night stream and the easy listening 60s FM radio disc jockey voice. Well, you know, I always wanted to be a disc jockey. It was that Alaska plane. Where's that going? To Seattle, maybe?
Okay, we'll turn around.
Yes, I was the kind of kid who built my own little neighborhood radio station when I was but a lad. And I built the transmitter and everything. You know, got the parts and put it on a circuit board and hooked it up to my Wallensack tape recorder. And had my own little preteen radio station. So now here I am with my own worldwide TV station. Jacob Meddy says, hello, happy to be here. We are happy to have you with us, Jacob. So some emergency vehicles They look like they're on their way back to their headquarters. We have American Flight 1564 about to touch down. It's a 737-800. And it will be arriving from San Antonio, Texas. Poised for takeoff there is American Flight 2224 to Portland, Oregon. It's an Airbus A321.
Hold short, 18 left, Whiskey Lima, American 1524. B Park 18 left, clear for takeoff, American 2224. 18 left.
Wendy Cutler says, I'm enjoying a relaxing stream, Walt, and lurking, watching the lovely people in the chat. There's always, no matter what I'm droning on about, there's always an entertaining discussion in our chat room. So if you, I think no matter what device you're looking at, you can turn on the chat. I know I watch it often on my big screen TV, or sometimes have the chat going on a phone or a tablet while I'm watching the big screen TV. But it does kind of add a nice dimension. It fills in the gaps when I run out of things to say. Clear had some multiple. The flight coming in was from Midland, Texas. The flight going out was the one to Portland, Oregon. And we've got a flight coming in now from Los Angeles. So our viewer who was out on the beach there, if they were there long enough, maybe they saw this take off. Airbus A321 touching down from Los Angeles. How are you doing? Stand by if you're having some problems. Waz Radio says, hi everyone from Sydney. The first time here. It was great to meet you, Walt, at the Dorkfest. Same here, Waz Radio. It was great meeting just so many people to just gifted 5 Tri-Jet memberships. Hey Josh, thank you so much. Are we back yet? I think we're still having a little rocky time here as far as the internet goes, so bear with us. Raina Taylor says, hey Walt, I know that you keep missing my messages, but I'm celebrating my birthday next week. I'm hoping to celebrate with you next Friday. Please, can you put up my message when you can? Well, there you go. And you're seeing new members joining in. Thanks to Josh Aldridge. There you see on the right there, I believe that is Flight 1458, American Airlines plane that's off to Oklahoma City. There's a, you may see it there in the background.
Okay, down to Alpha, short 1 and left.
Well, there it is. It's American Airlines Dreamliner 787-8 Dreamliner going to Santiago de Chile. But it's going over to the east side for takeoff, so we won't see it here in front of us, regrettably.
Hold shorter, 18 left, the Golf 8 on the first.
So I think this is the San Francisco departure once again. I'm sorry. It wasn't San Francisco, it was Oklahoma City. What was I saying? Do something to boost up that picture. Make it be a little brighter, but not much. Jiffy Box. I think that's the first time we've seen you check in. You know, the new American Airlines livery, relatively new, has grown on me, unlike United's, and I think Runway D and
cross 18 left, Golf 8, and point it on the other
and I don't know how that ends. Gotta say, I'm not a big fan of the. Oh, but here's one. Look at this. Got the American Airlines Piedmont livery, I believe. The Piedmont Tribute livery. Didn't get a very good look at it there. That was American Flight 2514 coming in from Phoenix, Arizona, an Airbus A321. I'm for any livery that has a stripe down the side. I think it's known technically in the airline world as a cheat line. I think it just gives a classic look to airplanes. There's an E-jet in the foreground and a couple of other planes in the background there. Oh, so Jiffy Box finishing out his thought. I think Runway DFW has a lot to do with it. Still love the old silver AA the best, though. I love that. I don't know, that was so classic to me. And whenever I see it, American still does have one plane painted in those colors, and I get nostalgic every time I see it. And we say new livery. That's probably been their livery for what, 10 years now?
Hello.
Here comes American Eagle Flight 3844 from Huntsville, Alabama. It's an E-jet. Well, a little wobble there. As the wind was kind of picking up just a little bit. Airport says we're getting 13-mile-an-hour winds out of the southeast currently.
Take the high speed, we'll cross the 1 in left and Gulf, runway 2814.
Swing around and pick up a Frontier flight coming in, shall we? Let us do that. It's Frontier 2708 from San Diego, Airbus A320neo. You get some indication of the wind velocity here. On the tail, Colorado, the bighorn sheep.
RF land 1 left, clear for takeoff, American 369.
Out of my way, 1 in left, American 2328.
In Seattle. And Channel member Carla Longerbeam states that it looks windy, yes. I mean, I've been here when it's windier, but and at least it's not a cold wind. Ron Sees America, channel member, says, howdy, Walt and everyone. Ron Sees America has a YouTube channel, and you can probably guess from the name of his channel what he does on his channel. So good to have you here, Ron. We are seeing DFW Airport.
Runway 3844, good night.
Down 25, American 2514, clear to cross 18 left.
That plane taking off, by the way, was American 2628 from, not from, but to Omaha, Nebraska. And we're going to swing this thing around and get a nice good look at, or as much as we can, at the big 747 China Airlines coming in from Anchorage, as promised earlier. Our second four-engined aircraft of the evening.
485 on the other side, American, 1992.
After seeing the King of the Skies, here now's the Queen of the Skies.
American 1996, want to confirm across 28 left, it was green.
head left wind to Lima, can I take you? Poetic left 1 point, goes 4935.
So this big jet will wind its way over to the west side cargo facility. It's to the south of us. We can't see into where it goes, at least not from this position. Here on the west side, going north to south, there's us at Founders Plaza, there's UPS, then there's American Airlines hangars, and then there's a cargo facility which handles a number of different carriers. Obi Jones is our newest subscriber, as we see in the foreground a teeny tiny cargo plane. The Beechcraft 1900C is that one in the foreground as we watch the 747 go out of view. It's an Ameriflight, the one in the foreground, but I don't have information as to where it is going. I can tell you, however, that this is an Orwellian plane because it dates back to
1984.
Could you hear that?
1984.
So I guess this will probably be our oldest aircraft of the evening. We have an arrival for you coming in from Austin, Texas. Seven 737-800. Jacob Meddy wants to know, do you like Spirit Airlines? I don't have an opinion on it. I know it's a low-cost airline. I know that some people have had good experiences and some have had bad. But I don't, I have no opinion on Spirit Airlines. Now I'm looking at this 747. It looks like we've got a tug attached to the front of it, or it looks like it's hooking up. The tail stand has been removed, and it looks like it may be going out. Steve Lundaby has been very generous with channel membership gifts. Says, and he's celebrating 5 months of membership. Says, Walt, it's time for me to go to a very important meeting with my pillow. By the by, Kevin has set the date to come to DFW. Or has Kevin set the date to come to DFW? Sure, like to be there. I haven't received any word from him. I know he's said he may be coming out, but he's got a lot of things on his plate, so we'll just wait for him to announce things. Just, you know, as long as he knows that we are here to give him assistance. What is that dripping from that? Do you see things dripping there? I guess this plane isn't going anywhere right away because the cockpit door is open. So I may have been a little premature about announcing its imminent departure.
Left, clear for takeoff on Atlanta, American 878.
American Flight 878 is on its way to Querétaro in Mexico. That's the plane in the center there, which is rolling to 737-800. Trying to bring you a landing and a takeoff there, but it didn't quite work out. Lori M says, ready for some cooler weather so I can get out to Founders Plaza. And Lori, I suspect that was a membership anniversary. Let's see here. Yes, indeed, a 5-month anniversary. Thank you, Lori.
One more time. Target 1316, cross 18 left, 185.
We have tourists. Lots of planes lined up to take off on 18 left. Looks like this is the first, will be the next to go out, I should say. It's flight 1012 to Monterrey, Mexico, and Airbus A319. JetMech 383, hello, new to the channel, says JetMech. Such a relaxing stream to watch tonight. Thank you for doing this. I am quite happy to do this for you and everybody who's watching. You know, we're coming up on our 2nd anniversary of broadcasting here on Runway DFW. And there you see the Qantas flight that's headed back to Sydney. And it looks like it's the 100th anniversary livery. So we can go back and catch a glimpse of that.
18 left, clear for takeoff. RNAV B Park, American 2346.
Don't know how good of a shot we'll get, but because as you can see, this picture is quite backlit. But that is Qantas Flight 8. Now about to go out of your shot. I'll swing it over here so we can see it some more. Qantas Flight 8, a 7879 Dreamliner, headed to Sydney bearing the Qantas 100th anniversary livery. And unfortunately, we don't get a very good look at it. On the fuselage, arrayed along the rear, towards the rear of the fuselage, are all of the various logos that Qantas has used over its century of flight. Maybe as it gets closer, we'll get a little better look at it.
We'll stay with you, 2346. Have a good night, American 2346.
RNAV B Park 18 left, clear for takeoff, American 1284.
Line for wait, 18 left, American 1525.
Rob Blackman says, "Hi Walt and DFW gang. Josh Alder says, I have flown on that specific jet before, the Qantas 100 livery. That's kind of cool. It's a pretty neat thing to be able to say. Rob Skirmy says, I suspect the dripping liquid under the UPS is condensation from the AC packs.
20 left, line up and wait, Dallas 4961.
I don't know if we can still see it. We're not zoomed in as close as we are there.
RNAV B Park, clear for takeoff, 18 left, Dallas 4961.
Line up for wait, 18 left, American 348.
American 1525, good night.
Carolyn Crowder, Walt, really enjoying all the activity on the runways tonight. It kind of ebbs and flows, but that's what we come to expect here. We've got another little bitty cargo jet, a cargo plane coming in. A Super Cargo Master from the Martinair brand.
Barnett, B Park, clear for takeoff 18 left, American 348.
The Barnett, getting shown 4961.
And that was just a 15-minute jaunt from Addison Airport in North Dallas. And I don't see a message there, but I thank you very much, Bradley. Thank you so much.
18 left, line but wait, American 1996.
Alrighty, we've got we kind of lost track of that Qantas plane, didn't we? Let's see if we can find it. It's a big jet. I should be able to find it here. Here it comes. So there you can kind of see those logos plastered above the windows to the rear of the wings. It's not going to the east side, is it? That would be highly unusual. No, it's just making a little S-turn there. I don't think I've ever seen a Qantas plane take off from the east side. I'm sure it's happened before for, operational reasons, but pretty reliably we see these planes take off here on the west side.
Barge still. Heavy, we're too heavy at the moment. Can we hold somewhere here? Wilco, quantified heavy bank.
Ravinda Hedge says, good morning from India. And we welcome you. Check my world clock in Mumbai right now. It's 8:21 a.m. on Saturday. So good morning to our viewers on the subcontinent. I doubt we have many viewers in Europe right now. It's 3:52 a.m. in London. But it's approaching noon in Seoul. So, greetings to our Korean friends. And to my son, if he's watching, because he lives in Korea and works in Korea. Coming up on 1 o'clock in Sydney. So I guess everybody on this plane's got to readjust themselves to that time. Or adjust themselves. Maybe, I'm assuming there'll be a lot of people on this plane who've never been to Sydney before or Australia. That would be very exciting. internet hit here, so stand by. Anthony Guinan says, Walt was so generous with his time at the H Hotel. Well, Anthony, the whole point of being there was to hang out with like-minded people like you and talking airplanes and having fun, and it was a good time. Raina Taylor says, I plan on going to Australia in 2027 for the Special Olympics World Games. 2027. I can't plan that far ahead. It's 4 years from now. Katie Goodling, channel member, says, we loved hearing about your son at Dorkfest, Walt. So cool. Yes, my son is a journalist for nknews.org, which, as you might suspect from the URL, is focused in on news about North Korea. And my son is quite an expert. He's really good at analyzing satellite photographs, because they don't have reporters in North Korea. They have sources in North Korea, but they don't have any reporters in North Korea. So a lot of what is reported on is based on satellite photography. And so my son looks at all these images that come from various sources and compares one to the other, and what was there last week compared to what is there this week, and can make some pretty accurate deductions from all that. Blix says, Norway here, night shift worker. My circadian rhythm is all over. I know how you feel. I worked the night shift for almost all of my career. I don't currently. I've kind of got a 9 to 6 job nowadays, but for my real job as an internet journalist working for a tiny TV station. But most of my work was done. I'd go in mid-afternoon and do the 10 o'clock news, and then be on the road after 11 o'clock at night. And you get used to it, but you feel kind of like you're out of sync with the rest of the world sometimes.
Clear for takeoff, 18 left, RNAV B Park, American 2267.
Mitch Campbell says, hello everyone, or hello everybody, to be more accurate. We're kind of in a holding pattern here. You're seeing the Qantas Flight 8 going back to Melbourne. We are keeping our eye on this Queen of the Skies. The tail stand has been taken away. It looks like there is a vehicle standing by to push it back. I can't tell if the front door is still open or not. I don't know if we can get in close enough on this shot to see. Yeah, it looks like it is. We say hello to Yin Cathay Spotter. Hello, everyone. Says Yin. We're so happy to have you here. Chris Grega has become a member. Thank you, Chris. And there's a look at Chris's icon.
Qantas and Heavy is ready for takeoff.
David Rice says hello from CSG.
Tower American 1871 on the visual.
Columbus Metropolitan Airport in Ohio.
Good day, American 2267.
Ooh, Qantas is on the move now.
Clear to land 18 right, American 1871.
So after what to its passengers must have seemed like a very long time, Big Dreamliner is now going to make the turnaround for its departure to Sydney. And we welcome Emery Yurtis as a member. Thank you, Emery. Emery is favoring us quite often with super chats, and a membership means a lot, so thank you.
Airborne heading 190, maintain a 10,000, 18 left, clear for takeoff, Qantas 80.
My boy, 18 left, American 1371. Good day, Qantas 80.
There it goes off on its long trans-Pacific journey. I'm going to say the front door is now closed on that plane.
Side American 1871. Short 18 left, Whiskey Lima.
Super 80s Swiss Air channel member says, good evening and hi Walton everyone. Hello to you.
Okay, American 1371 on a B Park, 18 left, clear for takeoff.
Runway DFW channel member Deborah Klein has gifted 5 Runway DFW memberships. Thank you so much, Deborah.
Yeah, US Airways, the US Airways special movie just.
Oh, okay. Well, missed it. So we've got a lot of new members coming in here. Thank you so much, Deborah Klein. Flydaho says, good evening, Waldo. It was great to meet you at LAX. Same here. Met so many nice folks there at the Cranky Dork Fest festivities. Well, yeah, I mean, you know, if you can make it out there next year, I certainly do recommend it. It's really a fun time. Nice people, great plane spotting.
1371, switch and take care. Open your unit.
Dominique Lillo says, hello from Colorado under the huge full moon. Yeah, we looked at that earlier. Shall we look again? Got to dial down our exposure because the moon is very bright. And we're normally looking at planes that are very dark. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, here's the moon in all of its glory. I think we can digitally enhance that just a bit. So yeah, it's a good looking neighbor. You can see the craters and everything. Hi, Moon, says Ross. And Beve says the moon is really something, right? Sure is. Just had to do a battery check there, make sure we're powered up. Stephen Kimball, Great Falls, Montana is our newest subscriber. Thank you, Stephen. Let's get back to Earth here because look at that. Why, I see a 747 on the move.
to land 18 right, American 1898.
This is one of the older 747s in the UPS fleet, 25-year-old plane.
We are parking east 1898.
The majestic queen, says Reina, whose name, as we all know, is Spanish for queen.
Okay, we're slow as we can go, and clear to land 18 right, American 16.
Stephen wants to know how close is too close when ground crew walking near those fat engines. Well, I think if you're a ground crew, you know how close you should or shouldn't be. So what are the chances that we'll be seeing this plane go out here on the 1/8 as opposed to going across the bridge to the east side? I'd say about 50-50.
Back in parking now, 78 heavy.
Confirm landing clearance for American 16. 18 right, clear land, American 16.
Echo Alpha, all short lane, left American 1898.
Echo Alpha, short 18 left for American.
Loud and clear for 117. Line up runway 3 left, clear for 117.
Departure 311 tip.
RNAV B Park runway 18 left, left, take up clear by 2177. Okay, Whiskey Foxtrot corner, cross to warning right, UPS 767. Over the departure frontier flight 2177. On up and wait 18 left, UPS 767 heavy.
Well, it sounds like we're going to be getting the takeoff of this plane here on the 18s. Hurrah. Always feel like it's a good day when we get to see a Queen land, which we did with the China Airlines cargo earlier. And here goes this one off to Louisville. UPS flight 767 on a 747. Go figure.
Echo. Echo Alpha, Hope Shore 1 west for Winscombe.
Tower Spirit 1162 is with you, the visual runway 12 right. Roger that, 1 right, Spirit 1162.
Another new subscriber, Clutch 44. Ross Jin says, half a century later and still an amazing accomplishment in my book. Go Boeing. I'm with you. My favorite plane to see, the Boeing 747. Unparalleled.
Final Poetic 18 left, American 1205.
Yeah, it's a beautiful plane to see, whether it's flying in the sky or just standing still. Thank you, AZ Wildcat 98, for your subscription to Runway DFW. If you're new to YouTube, subscription is free. No money changes hands, so thank you. Larry Hawkins says, Walt, how can you tell when someone subscribes or becomes a member while live? Well, I've got all these little... Well, I mean, you can see them pop up on the screen. I'm looking at, I don't know if you can see it here, but I'm looking at, my camera has a little, the cameras always have a little screen, but I've got a little monitor next to my camera here, which has a feed of what you're seeing. So when things pop up on the screen, when new members pop up on the screen, I can see that as long as I'm looking at my monitor screen. So helps me keep track of things. That is American Flight 1205 is going to Austin at the 737-800. We are going to zoom out here and take a look at...
RNAV long, clear takeoff on your left, American 1205.
Look at that, a FedEx MD-80 going up in the air from the east side. Unlike a UPS, FedEx lights up its tails. That plane's going to Memphis, which is the primary hub for FedEx in this country, analogous to the UPS World Port in Louisville. So, okay, a little bonus there, a little bonus. Now here you see another MD-11. And I would not at all be surprised to see if this goes out. It's all buttoned up now. 01 Mike D, channel member, says, Runway DFW, haven't seen your broadcast truck lately. Well, it's here. We have to set up a special camera to bring you that picture, and it wasn't possible to do it at night. I think the last time we did it was on Sunday morning. So one of these morning shows we'll get a peek over to the satellite truck. Thank you for asking. Aviation Down Under with a question, what camera equipment is being used? Well, the answers are all in the description to this broadcast and every broadcast. We've got a list of the camera gear and the computers and the sound equipment and all that stuff with links, so you can check it out in the description of this program. But essentially we're using two Sony full-frame cameras as our primary cameras tonight. A ZV E1 as our secondary camera, and the camera you're looking at there is an Alpha 7 S3, I think this one is. And then we've got a GoPro, which is not quite as good as I thought it would be for a dark scene. Maybe I need to make some adjustments. And then we've got a Google Pixel camera, or Pixel smartphone, which serves as our camera for tonight, which lets you see behind the scenes. Lachlan Adderley says, hello, it's been such a long time. Love always from Australia, and it's always lovely to see you. I've been so busy, I haven't had a chance to say good day the past few months. Hi, everyone. Lachlan, so good to see you. We are glad you are joining us this, I guess it would be morning for you, yes? Or midday, I guess? Basim Yusuf says, are runways 17 right, 35 left repairs still in progress? And the answer is yes. That'll be ongoing until either next spring or summer. And so we're down a runway for the winter months. Normally over there on the east side, and that runway that we're talking about is on the east side, not on the west side here. Normally that is used as the takeoff runway for east side departures, and it's closed down, so we get a little extra traffic over here as they consolidate. They still do have two north-south parallel runways over on the east side, just as we do over here on the west side. They have 17 center, which is now being used as the primary takeoff runway, and 17 left, which is used as the runway where the planes land. Let's give you a 20th century salute while we can.
1993.
Yes, this is a 1993 plane.
West side, spot 122, emergency 2020. Cross 18 left, it was 0, emergency 2020.
Oops. Didn't mean to do that.
Point left, line of point, envoy 34, 30.
There are lots of buttons and dials on these cameras, and I pushed the wrong one and turned it off. So as you can see, most of that plane is behind a fence right now, but we'll get a good look at it in just a minute. Lachlan says 1 p.m. here, Walt, in Australia. Close enough. So hot and sunny here. Spring has sprung, plants are in bloom, and everything is on track. Thanks for streaming. Wait a minute, I thought it was... Oh, that's right, it is spring there, because it's fall here. I get so confused.
Line up and wait. 18 left American 475.
Well, that doesn't look very focused, does it? That's a little better. Craig Russell, channel member, says, night everyone, I'm going to bed now, see you all next time. Thank you for spending some time with us this evening, Craig. 413 LED Lake Life, happy Friday. And Oklahoma Aviation says, hello Walt, just like the stream. Thank you so much. Every like is helping us grow and prosper, so we're especially happy to have likes and subscriptions and all that stuff. So are we missing anything? We're missing some planes coming and going. I do see on the radar that just popped up Polar Air Cargo operating a DHL flight back to Cincinnati. It's going to be a 767-300 model. There'll be another 20th century plane when we see it, and that is one of those planes that typically gets dispatched over to the east side for takeoff. So all sorts of interesting things to see here late at night at DFW International Airport. I should remind you, why not, that yeah, you're watching Runway DFW After Dark. It is, yeah, I have no idea what time it is. I don't know my watch. 10:32 here in the Central Time Zone. We are with you probably for another hour or so, maybe a little more. So if you don't have anything better to do, just plop yourself down in an easy chair, fluff up a pillow, and hang out with us for some After Dark action on Runway DFW. We are coming to you here live and in color from DFW Founders Plaza. Great place to hang out. The airport provides this as an official plane spotting spot, so we like to take advantage of it. We thank the airport, DFW Airport, for making it so nice for us to have a place to hang out and watch planes with you. And I hope if you're ever in the vicinity that you get a chance to check it out for yourself. Doug Hewson, channel member, says, late night stream, great to see a different TOD, which I think is time of day, right? AP says, good evening, Walt, glad to have you back. Great night at the big airport, thank you. Ishitac Chowdhury says, "Ho all, this is Ishitak from Bangladesh. It's 9:30 a.m. here, September 30th on Saturday. I don't know that we've ever had a viewer check in from Bangladesh. That's not to say we haven't had any, but I don't remember anybody specifying that they've joined us from Bangladesh. So welcome. We're glad to have you with us." We are around the world. And I think this tri-jet is on the move. What a sound. And again, we tend to focus in on these MDs a lot more. You know, they kind of distract us from everything else that's going on. Again, if only because, you know, check in a year from now or 2 years and we won't be seeing these anymore. At least not being flown by UPS and FedEx. So we like to let our camera linger. Waz Radio says, Walt, I'd like to program plane spotting shout-out list, which covers plane spotting worldwide, and we radio live stream worldwide as well. That sounds very interesting. I may be honored if you were thinking about adding us to the list. We have a lot of great plane spotters in Australia. Channels. luck is with us tonight. We get to see this take off right here on 18 left.
All right, 18 left, clear for takeoff. RNF, Park UPS 765 Heavy.
Aircraft 20 left, ground and heading.
Departure, UPS 765 Heavy.
Now spare runway 18 left, intersection Yankee, clear for takeoff for 102.
So off to the Louisville Worldport goes that aircraft. Blix, channel member, says, what a noisy MD-11. I love it. And Claire Kahn, channel member, says, love to watch the stream from UPS Worldport. Yeah, those are interesting streams. I know Big Jet TV's been there once or twice, and I think there are some local, or at least one local stream there now. I'm sorry, I don't know what the name of that stream is. But, you know, shout out to anybody who does a live stream. I can appreciate the amount of work that goes into it. Philip S. says, man, it's amazing the rate of climb the MD-11 has on takeoff. And yeah, but that one was not even as, I think the maybe it was just the angle that we were at, but that FedEx plane we saw earlier, the FedEx MD-11, seemed to be going up at what usually looks like a 45-degree angle on these MD-11s. And maybe we don't get the same perspective from it being over here. This one didn't look like it went up at as steep an angle as I'm accustomed to seeing. That was American Flight 1381 off to Fresno in California, Airbus A321. We've got a 3-month membership notification from, where'd that go? Brian Miller. Happy 3 months, truly longer, but YouTube is weird like that to me. Well, I certainly do appreciate that. Brian, thank you so much for being a channel member. That helps us out quite a bit. when it comes time at the end of the month to pay the streaming bill especially. But if you can't afford a membership or you've got other obligations, that's fine. We're just happy to have you with us. Carla, Longer Beam, channel member, says, I gotta go now. Husband has dialysis at 5 a.m. for genetic kidney disease. Thank you, Walt, for a wonderful stream as usual. Thank you, Josh, for the membership. Great job to the amazing mods, indeed. And the best to you and your husband. Philip S. says that UPS MD-11 didn't go as steep as usual from where I'm at. I did see it lift off the runway, though, from where I'm at. Flydaho says a Lufthansa A340 just flew over the house. I had to run outside to catch it. Boy, I miss the A340s. That's after the 747. That I think is my favorite plane, passenger plane, to see. And we don't see it anymore because Lufthansa stopped flying it here. We got a new member, 413 Lake Life, and that is courtesy of 01 Mike D, a channel member who gifted a Runway DFW membership. Thank you. Emre Yurtis, channel member, says, hey Walt, gotta go. Thank you again, Emre, for your shout-outs, for your contributions to our channel, and for your just for being there. It's always good to see you. And we have a good evening from Japan. It's a pleasure to see the MD-11F, once a member of Japan Airlines, in action. Yeah, regrettably, we won't be seeing it for too much longer, but we always like to really focus in on it when we can. Claire Kahn is saying Sierra Bravo TV is the YouTube channel where you can find UPS World Port coverage. So thank you for that alert. We'll look out for that. I know I've seen it before.
3589 departure, good night.
We still do have one MD-11 in the house here, at least as far as UPS goes. I don't know that, I think this one is, maybe it'll go out in the middle of the night. Perhaps it'll be here till the morning, I don't know, but I don't think we'll be seeing it during our broadcast. And Claire says that she loves the A340 as well. Versions of it, the version we got here had the smaller engines on it. I think there's a version of it that had the physically larger engines on the wings. The one we saw here had the smaller engines, which gave it a look, you know, at a glance you'd say, is that a 707 or is that an a DC-8? Because it just had that, even though it was a wide-body jet, when you saw that profile with the smaller engines, it, you know, looked to me at a glance like it had kind of a more classic look. We have an AirShare Embraer Phenom 300 coming in from Waco, Texas. That's not it there, but I always like when we see some planes we don't see all the time here. So it's a 2-engine business jet, 7 years old.
Now to be park 18 left, clear for takeoff, American 344.
There is a separate terminal here for private jets, private aircraft. It's just across, it's on the north side here, but it's just across the bridge on the east side of the airport. So we did get to see it when we were doing our broadcast from the penthouse a month or two ago. But can't see it from here. I do remember driving right past it when I was on the flight out to LAX a few weeks back.
RNAV line, clip takeoff 18 left, 56. Line up and wait, 18 left, American 446.
Idaho says I might have to go to Germany just to fly on one, an A340, before they go away. Well, they've been, you know, yeah. Where are they? I think they're still coming in to LAX. The A340 is on Lufthansa. I may be wrong. I thought I saw one when I was there, or maybe I just saw it on Airline Videos Live.
Last line up the wait on Boy 3412.
Basim Yusuf says, I flew on Royal Jordanian A340-200 non-stop between JFK in New York and Amman, Jordan. Quite a long flight. September 2002, October 2002. Slept overnight at the SAS Radisson JFK, then continued back home to DFW. Wow. Super 80 Swiss Air says, I spy the U.S. Airways Retro there at a Terminal D gate. Well, I see a plane there that has, it looks like it has a stripe on it. That may be the Piedmont livery that we saw coming in earlier. Can't tell. Yeah, that's the Piedmont livery. I dialed down the exposure so we could see the tail. But maybe there is one at Terminal D there somewhere. Let's see if we can see. Oh yeah, there's the U.S. Air tail. I'll focus in on it, and then let me see if we can zoom that in just a little bit. There you can kind of see it there in the middle of the picture. You can see with the flag on the tail there. Not a very clear picture because we're digitally zooming into it, but good eyes. Jeremy Krause says Sierra Bravo TV broadcasts on Tuesdays and Thursdays from the UPS Worldport. Good to know. Ross Jin says, definitely one of my favorite retro liveries. I don't know which one you mean. Do you mean the U.S. Air or the Piedmont? As I said before, I like anything that has a stripe down the side, down the fuselage. That to me says retro. Unfortunately, we're not getting a very good look at it here. I think as it gets closer, we'll be able to give you a little better view of this one.
Check off 171. Sorry, last line of 357.
So the Piedmont livery, there it is there, it's making a turn. Sorry about that. It's off to Ontario, California. It's an Airbus A321. Is this? I know that American painted, repainted 2 planes. They painted a new. They had a PSA livery for a while, and then they repainted that plane and painted another plane with the PSA livery. And I don't think I've seen the new one yet. I did see it on Airline Videos Live, but I don't think I've seen it in person yet. That's always a fun one to see, the PSA with the smile on the front and the snoot painted black on the front. John Irby says Aerolíneas Argentinas used the A340-200s for several years. They used it on the Buenos Aires to Perth route.
I'm going to be parked on I-18 left for the takeoff envoy 3537.
Parking west side, American 630.
There's an American Eagle flight 3537. It's off to Fort Smith, Arkansas. We can catch up with that Piedmont flight here. I know it's not Piedmont, it's American Airlines. Well, can't see very much of it, can we? I mean, if we were at the terminal would kind of illuminate it for us, but we're looking at it from the dark side, so.
Clear takeoff 18 left, RNAV B park on way 4089.
Having a little race there with that Frontier plane.
Parks, we'll see you at 3537.
Is that the bighorn sheep we saw earlier? I think it is. Or is it? Yeah, it's Colorado, the bighorn sheep there on the Frontier.
Left line of way, Frontier 2701.
So flight 2701 is the Frontier flight. It's going to Phoenix. It's an Airbus A320neo. I'm afraid we're not going to get a really good look at that. Maybe the Frontier plane will light up the livery of the Piedmont, but nah, not so much.
RNAV B park, clear to take up Frontier 2701.
Over departure on way 4089, good night.
Claire loves the retro livery on many aircraft.
American 1779.
Yeah, I think it adds a little fun. Especially if you're a passenger. Sometimes I don't even know if passengers realize if they're, you know, because sometimes the plane is parked in such a way you can't really see it from the gate. And some people just don't even pay any attention. They're just in the waiting room and they say, get on board, and they go through the jetway and get on the plane and can't see the livery from inside the plane. So there's the Piedmont livery, is for what it's worth. Now I can probably say that in some previous life I did fly on at least one Piedmont plane. I used to fly between Indianapolis and New York City. Back before it was absorbed. I believe I see a Qatar Airways plane now rolling out.
Left line and wait on 323.
It's Qatar flight 732. It's going to Doha. One of two daily flights that Qatar Airways has betwixt here and there. And there it is there. I believe that's the, is that the A350-1000? No, that's 777. Our first 777 of the day. We've got another 777 on the move now. American Flight 80. It's going to London Heathrow. Now, both of those planes, both of those flights typically get directed over to the east side of the airport for takeoff. Lori M says, my all-time favorite plane in livery is the Etihad Greenliner. Absolutely magnificent. I'll have to look that one up. Dennis BSO says, Delta is the best airliner in my opinion, and I love their colors and livery. I like their colors. I'm not a fan of their tail. I don't like whatever design they've got on the tail. It's not too abstract. It doesn't look Delta-y enough for me.
Go to departure of United 3020.
So I think we've got here, there's the Qatar triple, and is that the American behind it? Yes. So double triples there for you on Runway DFW. They're both headed in the same direction.
1 left, line up and wait, I'll go 3569.
I'm looking for incoming flights and I don't see any. At least not over here on the west side. It was just after 11, and I should remind you that you are watching Runway DFW After Dark. We're live at DFW Founders Plaza in Texas at Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, one of the busiest airports in the whole world. And so we're happy to come at you 2 or 3 times a week, typically, with coverage at various times of the day. So thank you so much for joining us for what will be the final few minutes here. Got to check my batteries again, make sure we don't have to replug somewhere. But thanks for watching, and stay with us. We'll let you know when it's over. Alrighty, let me do a battery check here.
B Park, 18 left, clear for takeoff, American 2524.
Line up and wait, 18 left, envoy 34.
Let's see what it says here. 12%? Yeah, I better switch over. Okay, we may lose some audio here for a second, but stand by.
Over to departure.
Oh, all right, are we still on the air? I think we are. Okay. Channel member John Irby says, time for bed. Have a good night, all. Thank you, John, for spending some of your evening with us. That was my headphone cable hitting the tripod arm, and there goes Qatar flight 732, the 777, headed over the bridge for its flight to Doha. But for you 777 fans, looks like we will get the American Airlines 777 to London. I think it's there. There it is. And it does look like it's going to be
Good night, American 2564.
taking off here on 18 left. Oh, we've lost a camera.
Such a departure, have a night, envoy 3466.
So our brief power outage did diminish one of our cameras, but it's back. Okay. We're good. Seem to be taking a little internet hit right here. Cajun Josh says, Founders Plaza looking quite sparse tonight. There's a couple empty spaces, but there's a good crowd here, as there generally is on a Friday night. And hey, there was my... I think you see it there, the that US Air livery. So another special livery for you. That one kind of pops out a little bit better.
Take off runway 18 left, right turn, heading 190.
That is American Flight 1744. It's going to Phoenix, Arizona. And then we've got the big 777, which is going to London. Flight 80. And this just barely makes it into the 21st century category. It's a 23-year-old 777. Asim Yusuf says, number one 777 fan.
20 left line of weight, American 80 heavy.
Excuse me. All right, we're headed off to London town. Well, not me, but the passengers and crew of this plane.
28 left, clear for takeoff, American 80 heavy.
Arrival weight, 18 left, American 2734.
So let's see, I'm trying to calculate. This plane, I guess, would be landing in at Heathrow. What's that? Those are United. Should be landing at Heathrow in early afternoon, I would calculate.
American 80 heavy, good night.
So yeah, supposed to get there at 2:25 p.m. in London. Now, what happened to that US Air livery? Is it still there? If we look behind this Airbus A319, you can kind of see the tail there. The plane in the foreground is flight 2734. It's going to Oklahoma City. And that's a flight of about, I don't know, 45 minutes or maybe less.
RDF Park, clear for takeoff, 18 left, America.
Ali S. Greetings and well wishes to all of you. Glad I'm able to catch some of the show. I am surprised to see so much activity at 11:15-ish at night. Wow. Yeah, it'll get quiet here. We've got this kind of one final rush here over the next, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. So there's that US Air livery. Again, this is going to Phoenix, or US Airways, I guess I should say.
RNAV Lauren, 18 left, clear for takeoff, Frontier flight 2735.
But before this goes out, flight 2735 Frontier with the America's Green Airline livery. Can you see that? There it is. It's green.
American 2034 switching.
2266, visual approach 20 right. One 8 right, clear to land, Spirit 1966.
Arnett B Park, 1 8 left, clear for takeoff, 1744.
1 8 left, line up Poetic, American 785.
Pretty good look at that livery at night.
Over to the board, Arnett Lauren, 1 8 left, clear for takeoff, American 785. 1 8 left, line up American 456.
American Flight 785 going to Tucson, Arizona.
Arnett B Park, 1 8 left for takeoff, American 456.
Runway 1 8 left, American 2390.
Let's check out a Spirit flight coming in from Fort Lauderdale. It's an Airbus A321neo. Ooh, look at that. Wow. Well, that was the lowest go-around I've ever seen in person.
Okay, right to 240, climb maintain 2000, Spirit Wings 1966.
A Spirit Flight 1966. Coming in from Fort Lauderdale, but apparently he saw something he didn't like. There was a...
Traffic in sight, Spirit Wings 1966.
I think the pilot said traffic in sight.
Right heading 240, Spirit Wings 1966.
There was a United flight that had just come in from Denver.
Okay, we'll maintain visual to traffic, Spirit Wings 1966. And that traffic again for 1966.
So the pilot did what they thought was prudent, and
okay, right to 270, climb maintain 3000, and we're just looking for that traffic again.
rejecting the landing.
Okay, great. Spirit Wings 1966. Okay, 3597, Spirit Wings 1966, good day.
So, definitely a highlight, I guess.
RNAV B Park, clear for takeoff, 18 left, American 2390.
Rainy Taylor says that was an awesome go around.
20 left, land for wind, guys, 3205.
And Super 80 Swiss Air says, whee! Lori says, Walt, you need to make that into a short and post it on your channel. That thought kind of had crossed my mind as well. That was a little something to see.
20 left, clear for takeoff, RNAV Lawrence, sky was 3205.
So that flight's taking the long way around.
American 2347.
And I don't know. It seems to me that it was probably the
American 2390.
a plane on the runway, which visually looked like not a good idea to try to land at that moment. So. An interesting thing to see.
Tower Delta 1516, visual.
Basim Yusuf says there was nothing on the ground. Were they too high? Well, I was looking at flight radar. It looked like there was a United plane which was either about to get off the runway that had just landed, or it was still on runway 18 right. So I don't know. I'll have to go back and review the flight radar. Russ Ferris says maybe somebody was not cleared on the runway. Passengers probably enjoyed that. But Ali S says that would really suck for the passengers, especially those who are anxious to get off the plane. But Basim said I checked radar, nothing there. So who knows? If you're a pilot coming in, you've got a lot of things to look at, and maybe the pilot or the flight crew, somebody on the flight deck saw something that said, "Hey, just go around." And Robert Brunn questions whether it was wind shear. It could be, obviously. I didn't see any wing wiggle as the plane was coming in for a landing, but obviously I'm looking at it on a tiny viewfinder.
RNAV B Park, clear for takeoff, 18 left, American 2528.
American Flight 2528 going to Seattle. It's an Airbus A321. We, I think, are going to look instead at Delta Flight 1516, an Airbus A320 coming in from Minneapolis, St. Paul here. Right up there at about that location. So the Spirit flight from Fort Lauderdale is kind of looping around. It's still another couple minutes away from making a second try. Jay Painspotter with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Jay. Great stream, Walt. Off to bed. Boeing delivered 3 planes today, including Silkway West's first 777F. that is cool. Silkway West, a cargo airline based in, I believe, Azerbaijan. And
Tower, you want us on? You or ground?
and I haven't seen. I saw it once here, and it wasn't in a position to take a picture of it. It had like a once a week route here, and I don't know if it still flies to DFW. I'll have to check on that. Silkway West. They'd been flying 747s in here. And speaking of 747s, there was a disabled, what was that? Suparna 747 cargo. It had an engine fire, and it landed here. And it is, last I checked, the last I saw in the Facebook groups, is still parked down there. So there's another thank you to Jay Payne Spotter. And again, check out his channel, and thank you for that super chat, Jay. He's got some great stuff if you like looking at brand new planes. Well, we're kind of winding down here. Let's see. Well, we're gonna definitely see the Fort Lauderdale plane coming in, and it is now vectoring in for a second landing attempt. Prior to that, we will see United Flight 1710, an Airbus A320, which is making its way down from Chicagoland, Chicago O'Hare Airport. And then right behind it will be the Flight 1966, the Spirit Airlines plane from Fort Lauderdale, which almost landed and then didn't. And you saw it here live on Runway DFW. It was kind of, I'd never seen a go around like that. I'd seen, you know, the planes way up, you know, make that decision a lot sooner. And Lori M says, dude was like 10 feet from the runway and stable as a rock. That's how I remember seeing it. CJ Cotta says, Walt, do you have any plans to do another show at LAX or somewhere else? Well, LAX is very well covered. I mean, because I was there, I thought I'd try to do a show or two, and I did two. I was going to do a third, but it got rained on. And again, I want to acknowledge all the help that I got in the production from our friend Kevin at Airline Videos Live, who was providing transportation and batteries and a table, and he was very helpful, even though he had a very, very busy weekend of internet broadcasting. So this then is the United plane from Chicago. Behind it will be the Spirit aircraft from Fort Lauderdale.
18 right, clear to land, square wings 1966, thanks. Cross 18 left at Alpha, 2165 on the bridge. See you later, Delta 15.
Departure 2647, Skywest 31 upright, good night.
Behind the shrubbery it goes.
RNFB Park, 18 left, clear for takeoff, American 2568.
Okay, so now here's the Spirit plane that we saw just a few minutes ago. Here on Runway DFW, make a landing attempt and then reject it. Just a few feet from touching down on runway 18 right.
I see job back right.
Now there is that United plane that landed is still, according to the radar, it's still on runway 18 right. It's now, according to the radar, turning off onto the taxiway. So runway 18 right is clear. I believe we have a touchdown.
Tower Delta 568, switching 18 right, visual.
So that ends a 2-hour and 47-minute flight from Fort Lauderdale. And
2568. Or a terminal echo for Sterling 1960.
got a couple of West Coast flights about to come in. We've got Delta 568 from Los Angeles, an Airbus A320. And behind it is a United plane from Chicago.
We are clear to cross 18 left, correct. 18 left, Whiskey Lima, Fox now, please.
So here's the Delta flight. This is an oldie.
$1991.
A 20th century plane, 31 years old. Still flying around up there for Delta Airlines. Another new subscriber, Liz C864, if I read that correctly. Thank you, Liz. Happy to have you as a new subscriber. So United Airlines flight 1632 is coming in next. It's an Airbus A319. And it's a flight that originated in the city adjacent to the bay, San Francisco. And this may be our last plane of the day. as I am scanning the skies, and yeah, this looks to be about it. So a baby bus will signify our final flight of the night here at 11:35 Central Time.
68, we're going to take this high speed cross runway 18 left on Whiskey Mike here, and then Alpha route. All right, Delta 568, 6 side of the bridge.
You heard that noise. I think that was a car tire running over a plastic bottle. Jurgen Thompson is the newest subscriber to Runway DFW. Thank you, Jurgen.
Do you want us with you until the switch, or go ahead and switch around now? Alpha Delta 568.
Been so nice of all of you to spend part of your Friday night / Saturday morning / Saturday afternoon with us. In case you were wondering, my tentative plan is to be back here on Sunday morning, probably at 7 a.m. Central Time. We'll do what has become, I guess, our most regular broadcast, which is to do a little lead-in to our friends Kevin and Rudy out there for their big Sunday show at LAX. Do 2 or 3 hours here from DFW. And then we'll switch off, and you can switch over to Kevin for a full day of airplane broadcasting. So, okay, let's switch over here. Let me do this here. Let's see. Well, we'll just use our After Dark music. And you have been watching
32, we're taking a left at Echo 6.
Runway DFW After Dark. Been my pleasure to bring you this presentation on this Friday night. We would also very much like to thank a lot of the people who make this possible, including Runway DFW sponsor James Webb. Thank you so much, James, for your very kind contributions to this channel. To Airline Videos Live and Kevin, who supplies us with the battery power for our broadcasting here. Those batteries will be all charged up for your next visit, Kevin. Also, of course, the Runway DFW Moderation Federation. Can't do this without you guys and gals. Thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. And now we're going to say thank you to the members of Runway DFW. Let me take this out. Okay. Now we'll say thank you to the members. Okay, that does it for us here at Runway DFW for this Friday night. Runway DFW After Dark. Great pleasure being with you. Got to pack things up now, and we'll be back with you Sunday morning. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Happy contrails to you until we meet again.
For overseas acts and promotional consideration furnished by Pan American World Airways, the world's most experienced airline. Pan Am makes the going great. This is Dick Tufeld speaking.
Gotta get going, love you, bye for now.